there, everyone. I am here with Gabriel. My name is Jolita Brilliant. I'm a health coach, and Gabriel is a fitness expert and personal trainer. And I would like to talk to him today about his health experience and challenges in bodybuilding and what he did in the past. What are you doing right now, and how's that working for you?
Okay, well, I started, in health and fitness, just like an average skinny guy, working out, going to the gym, trying to gain weight, not seeing any results. So I picked up the magazines, and the first thing that they say in the magazine is to eat more protein. It's always about protein. So, I jumped on the protein bandwagon for a couple years, maybe like about 5 years. It went pretty steady and pretty good for about 5 years.
How old you then when you started?
I started at about 16, and I continued
That's
to about, the age of about 22. A lot of red meat.
What kind did you do? Conventional red meat?
I did a lot of red meat, a lot of genetically modified food, a lot of corn-fed beef, a lot of pesticide hormone meat. And I got really big. I got up to about 210 pounds, which is a lot for somebody who's skinny naturally like me.
And what's your height?
5'11", 5'10 and a half, 210 pounds. I was pretty huge, pretty strong, but I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack at any moment. I would go up a flight of steps and I would be winded. I would get dizzy after standing up. So I had a lot of blood pressure, had a lot of cholesterol, and that led me to believe that, after doing the research, that the meat consuming all that meat wasn't really the best thing to do. And I was also eating a lot of fast food for a little while, and then I cleaned up. I was doing a lot of fast food maybe until I was about 20, 21.
Like takeouts, like
Chinese food, MSG, GMO, everything. Everything under the sun. A lot of Twinkies, just calories, just to try to get the calories in. And I never really got the conditioning that I wanted to get. I was never really as ripped as I wanted to be, no matter how hard I tried. It was just this layer that I could not lose. I was always fluffy,
Yeah, because these chemicals are not natural, not found in the nature. Really doesn't work. I guess they drive like the hormones out of balance, and you can't lose belly fat if your hormones are out.
Exactly. So I'm 25 now. In about a year and a half ago, I started to experience erectile dysfunction. That's low sperm count. Basically, lots of allergies, just being winded all the time, chronically tired, insomnia. I had insomnia for a long time, a lot of years. I couldn't get sleep, stayed up all night, never was on a good sleep schedule as long as I lived, and maybe it was like, the chemicals and fluoride and water and stuff. I had a lot of back pain, a lot of achy joints. I got injured a few times. So, it was basically the last straw. I knew I had to do a detox. So I did Joel Furman juice fast, Dr. Joel Furman's juice fast, basically similar to the Gerson diet, and I lost
the Gerson therapy.
Gerson therapy. I did that, but I was eating food. I was eating about 1 or 2 meals a day, mostly vegetables, all vegetables and fruits. I wasn't getting any animals. I cut that totally out of my diet. No wheat, no bread, no processed foods, no saturated fats. I cut it all out. Did the vegetable juice 4 days a week. I did that for about 6 weeks straight before I started really incorporating slowly more meals and more meals. I lost about 20 pounds of fat. I was leaner than I ever was. I had more stamina than I ever had. My libido,
mental clarity, right?
My mental clarity was amazing. My libido stamina was crazy. It is crazy. It's back up to where it was when I was 16. I can go round for round every day, and back when I was doing the meat, I would have to take a break, literally like 2 days in between having intercourse, I would have to take a few days because it would take that long for my body to recover, But now I feel like with the garlic, I've been doing a lot of garlic, apple cider vinegar, alkalizing, taking care of the cardiovascular system and not overloading it with saturated fats. I have better circulation, more pump, and that was really, the changing point for me was when my libido got low. Because I knew, 24,
you want to be a man and not
be a man.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what changed my life. That's there's always one thing that makes people go for the go for the goal, and it was really the libido thing. As soon as my libido started messing up, I was like, whoa, something's wrong. I got to figure out what it is. Let's do some research. So I did the research, learned a lot, and I'm still learning.
Well, that's wonderful. So, and what your diet looks like right now?
Okay. So first, let me tell you what it looked like before,
and
then you can see the drasticness in it.
Okay.
So before, I would wake up in the morning, I would have about 8 eggs. 8.
That's, oh my God. That's
hard boiled or scrambled, whatever. I would have about a cup of oatmeal. I would eat I was eating about 8 to 10 meals a day. I was doing about 3 cups of oatmeal a day, 3 cups of rice, 2 sweet potatoes. So I was getting enough carbs, more than enough carbs to gain the weight. But I was also doing way too much protein. I was doing about 12 eggs a day. I was doing about 3 beef patties a day. And this was corn-fed beef. I was doing chicken every day. I was eating a Subway sandwich, meatball marinara, 1,000 calories. I was doing 4 protein shakes a day, getting about 150 grams of protein from dairy, and then about another 100 grams from beef and eggs, about 150. So I was getting about 300 grams of protein a day, about 400 to 600 grams of carbs, and I don't know how much fat I was getting, but I was huge, and I was sluggish, and I was tired all the time, and I felt like crap. So now, my diet is totally different. Oh, and not to mention, eating 10 times a day, your body never has time to relax, clean out, eliminate, and cleanse itself.
Yeah, because we need some breaks in between meals to burn the fat.
Exactly. I was constipated all the time. There would be certain days where I wouldn't even go to the bathroom.
Wow.
So now my diet is totally different. If you compare my diet now to the way it was then, it's completely totally different. In the morning when I wake up, I usually fast. I continue the fast from the night. So I have a veggie juice. So I get my nutrients.
Like carrots.
I do carrots, celery, and ginger. And then I blend it in the blender with a garlic clove. So it's like super alkalized.
Maca is very good aphrodisiac too.
Exactly.
And goji also balances.
Yeah, so I do that. If I don't have the ingredients for the juice, I'll do apple cider vinegar water as soon as I get up. Maybe take a big spoon of raw honey. Because I want to eat light in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I'll have, in the middle of the day, I'll start to break my fast with some nuts, some peanuts, some seeds, maybe a little bit of grain munching, just munching, slightly. I'll usually eat some carrots before I eat anything, just to get that fiber and everything sitting on top of that fiber so it can come out.
I like to start my morning with vegetables too, but opposing to you, my biggest meal usually is my lunch. My lunch. No, I kind of eat when I wake up. I don't eat. I drink water or tea, and then wait a little while until that hunger kicks in, and then I have like a biggest meal of the day.
Exactly. And I usually wait around until the hunger is really kicking. And so about 12 o'clock, I start breaking my fast. I try to I start loading up on carbs. So I have bananas, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, anything I can get my hands on. I always make sure it has
fiber in it. Do you cook sweet
potatoes?
potatoes?
I do. I don't know how not to eat them.
I eat them raw, but I eat them raw.
They're probably better for you that way too. And then
They're both.
I usually work out. After I work out, that's when I have my protein. So I'll do eggs, usually about 4 eggs the most. And I usually don't eat all the eggs. I usually eat 2 eggs. 2 eggs, kale, celery, you know, carrots, and then I have a grain. So I might have white rice if I work that really hard. Maybe I'll have quinoa for the protein. So I'm getting multiple vegetable proteins.
And you get the egg. You definitely vegetables are essential part, but the egg protein is number one, the most assimilated.
Exactly, it's the easiest to absorb. All other protein types are measured versus eggs.
Yes.
So like beef, for example, is only really 40% quality compared to egg. So your body's gonna absorb some of it. It's gonna, the rest of it's gonna go bad, go rancid. It's gonna constipate you. Your crap
cause acidity.
Cause acidity.
I mean, if you're eating small amounts of meat, we do need some acidity. And you brought up a good point before that you said when you was on completely raw vegan diet, you was craving junk food all the time. And
I did raw vegan for 3 months. And in those 3 months, it went great for the first month. You know, I lost a lot of weight, I detoxed my body, I felt really clean. But after that first month, maybe like the 5th week, 6th week kicking in, I started craving weird things like donuts. You know, like high refined sugar. You know, that high acid refined sugar, the wheat, genetically modified corn. I was craving corn, GMO corn, for no reason.
I found the same thing. So weird.
I was craving meat. I was craving beef. I was craving like the worst food you could possibly think of. And I think it was because I was too alkaline and not acidic enough.
That's excellent point.
I was like over 80% alkaline. I had no acidity in my diet.
We need 20% of acidity.
20% of acidity for a healthy function. You need acidity. You need it to gain weight. You need it to build muscle. You need it to
stay sane.
To stay sane. You know, cheat a little bit.
Yeah.
And so my dinners are always light. Always have a light dinner.
It's not like cheating, not cheat. Have a good, always have a healthy option. Let's say if you want a chocolate, make it maybe avocado with carob or raw cacao powder. You know, you don't have to cheat. Make just
you don't have to cheat on garbage. Like literally, you can get organic, you know, corn, organic corn chips. If you're trying to build up, you need carbs to build muscle. And what is a good carb? Corn is a good carb because corn is a fattener. You know, you feed the corn to the cows so that they can gain the weight. The problem is the genetically modified corn. So if you get organic corn tortilla chips and you're trying to gain up, you can munch on those. I snack on those.
I put them in my salad or salsa sometimes.
I do raw honey, raw oatmeal with granola. I just mix it up and I eat that, and I put a whole bunch of flaxseed oils because right now I'm trying to get a lot of omega-3s in my diet. The omega-3s are critical if you're lifting weights. If you're doing a lot of resistance training, you're just trying to really build that muscle, your joints are going to get tired eventually. They're going to start to feel sore. They're not going to like what you're doing to them. The omega-3s, 20,000 milligrams a day. 20,000 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
Not 200 milligrams a day, not 2,000 milligrams a day. I'm talking about 20,000 milligrams. So I do about 4 spoons of flax and about 4 spoons of a high potency omega-3, and my back feels great. My shoulders, you know, I had a lot of injuries. I'm pain free now. When I was eating meat, I was achy all the time.
Recovery time much longer, like you said. Recovery time.
And the recovery time is much longer. So being on this, I would say Nutritarian, you can call it, because I'm not really raw.
You're still doing enough. You're doing even higher protein, I think, number than, let's say, person who doesn't exercise, who is Nutritarian, but you're doing the bodybuilding version of Nutritarian.
Exactly. So it's all about just carbs, and then you get into nutrient timing. So you have your days where you eat less.
Right.
Your calorie restriction days, that's where you're gonna burn your fat, that's where you're gonna recover from the workouts. Then you have your anabolic days where you're just eating as much as possible. You're trying to eat clean. Everything is grains, everything is fruits, everything is vegetables, no processed foods. Just trying to get a lot of calories in, but that are clean calories that are not gonna clog up the system. They're gonna help me circulate better, build the muscle, increase my performance.
Yeah, and so you said you do for lunch, let's say, okay, you did eggs, quinoa, and then for the dinner, what do you do?
So today for lunch I had eggs with kale and carrots and celery. And on the side I had a banana. and then I didn't finish all the eggs.
Do you do? I did eggs raw. I did do
Eggs
eggs
are
raw
great raw.
since quitting being raw vegan for 1 year and a half and seeing my health extremely decline. I know now for sure that for me at least it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But in cooked eggs, the whites, the protein even more becomes absorbable than the raw ones. But the raw ones, the yolk has more available B complex.
It has the B complex vitamins, and whenever you cook something, it's dead. It's done. All the nutrients are gone. So people who overcook their vegetables, like people who eat kale, but they say, yeah, I eat kale chips all the time. Those kale chips are dead.
Yeah,
it's just getting empty calories.
You know, like they're not
you
really,
might as well be
the vitality is gone.
Cornflakes.
Well, it's still better than
it's better than cornflakes,
you know?
but there's really not that much nutrient value.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the fiber's still there.
If it's dehydrated, it's similar as cooked.
So right now, I always get sugar. See, a lot of people, they eliminate sugar from their diet completely, but I don't think it's necessary. You need sugar to kickstart energy burning, fat burning.
Some paleo people go so low carb that it's hard to stick to that diet, and they cheat, and it's impossible.
I've done low carb before, and I was small, I was weak, I was watery, very fluffy looking, not crispy at all, no lines of definition. And I was very stressed out, so I wouldn't recommend decreasing
balance
the carbs.
Is the key, you know.
Yes.
So what's your macros, you would say? Is it like 60, 20, 20, or what's your macros? Do you count?
I would say, I don't really count too much, but I would say it's around 75 carbs, and between protein and fats, it's 25. So I don't really know how much protein I'm getting, because most of the protein that I do get is from grains, is from vegetables. It's in an amino acid form. So when you eat vegetables, they don't, a lot of vegetables don't have a protein content because all their nutrients are already broken down into amino acids. What people don't understand, they say, oh, you're going to lose muscle mass if you switch to vegetarian or whatever. It's not the case, because you're getting more efficient form of the amino acids. It's not the protein that you need. You need the amino acid to build into the protein.
Yeah, and also keep the variety, because not all plants they're not complete proteins like meat. So you have to get variety, and then you get your body sorts it out and builds the ones it needs. Because that was a mistake I made, even though I was trying. But I do think that if you don't want to consume meat, the longest lived people are lacto-ovo vegetarians. So, our body needs at least some amounts of of those compounds like zinc, chromium, and omegas, and B12 and B complex. Have a little bit, because a tiny bit goes a long way from animal products. So, like, an egg is not a very harmful thing to do. So,
not at all.
Or I personally, dairy I can't do because I'm not really tolerant. I
cannot do dairy at all. I get acne.
So yeah,
a lot of gas, tons of gas, so much gas you wouldn't even believe. It's so much gas. It's almost like a comedy skit. How much gas actually comes out just on like a piece of cheese.
And cheese is addictive too, that casein, and it's cancer.
And it's delicious, and it's one of the highest cancer-causing foods you could possibly eat.
Yeah, cheese, it's not natural. In nature, we wouldn't go suck.
Why would you suck on a cow?
Yeah. No other species do it.
No, do you see a pig going to drink a giraffe? Do you see a chicken?
A rat going for
dog milk, cat milk. You don't crossbreed. You have your milk when you're a baby from your mother, and maybe when you're a child you can have some. It's not really as bad. But once you're off the breast, you're off the breast.
Yep. And nature knows best.
Nature knows best.
They made it for purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if somebody's like they cannot eat, it's like they just cannot cannot eat animal fresh, well, maybe consider some seafood, you know, or an eggs. But if you cannot do it, then I would say, you know, milk would be the last choice to get these B complex vitamins.
Yeah, I wouldn't
it's
even.
better than supplements.
The reason why a lot of obese people are so obese is because they get such humongous quantities of dairy,
ice cream,
processed food. It's usually, you know, in New York City, you can get a slice of pizza for $1 and an Arizona iced tea. So that's $2 for lunch. You know, some people, they don't have the money. They're in the trap
and
where they have to,
fall
all they can
prey
get.
And they get addicted.
They get addicted to it. They and you know, processed foods are addicting because there's no nutrient quality in there. So once you convince your taste buds or your body that that's all you eat and that's all that there is, then your body just craves what it knows. So because there's no nutrient density in there, you're gonna be wanting to eat a lot more.
And also when you eat the refined foods, the refined sugars, your body like thinks, okay, so I now got the fructose or whatever that is, where is the fiber? And it craves something and it creates this whole, this binge later that
it backfires.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
so sugar consumption is actually, if you look at the effect of sugar and how it interacts chemically in the body,
toxic.
It's toxic. It actually has the exact same detrimental effect and addictiveness as alcohol,
and
without the buzz.
Yes.
So when you take the sugar,
and actually it does create dopamine release.
Exactly.
It does, like cocaine or heroin, the same pathways.
Food cravings are stronger than drug cravings. And so that's why you can't just cut your diet and change it. You have to do it slowly. You have to do it one step at a time, one food at a time. The average person really only eats 10 different foods.
Yeah, it's still recording.
So the average person only eats 10 different foods. So you only really need to think about, okay, what did I eat for the past 3 days? That's usually what a person eats in their entirety. So if you can figure out, okay, what are the basic list of foods that I'm eating? Now let's start to switch out the bad ones for the good ones. So you switch out white rice for oatmeal. You switch out beef for eggs. You switch out, you know, corn products for vegetables, more vegetables.
Switch candies or ice cream to, let's say, frozen banana ice cream.
Exactly, fruits. Because once you start getting the water content in the fruit, the nutrients and stuff like that, and your body starts hydrating itself, it's gonna know where those nutrients are coming from and it's gonna crave that. So you kind of have to trick or sort of transition your taste buds slowly. You know, like certain foods are acquired taste.
Yeah.
When I started eating kale, I thought it was the most disgusting vegetable on the face of the earth, but I read it was super healthy. Men's Health called it beef for vegetarians. Kale, beef for vegetarians, helps you build muscle. So I forced myself to eat it. Now I get the biggest craving of kale you could ever think of. When I wake up in the morning, or sometimes at lunch, I'm just like, oh, I need the kale. Where's the kale? You know what I mean? I gotta have it.
Good for you.
So yeah.
That's wonderful. So is there anything else you would like to share? What I know you had some kind of like issues with your blood vessels or arteries too.
I had very painful varicose vein when I was eating a lot of meat. That's what also caused me to switch. And you know, I went to the doctor.
Okay, when you was eating meat, you was eating very little salads and things.
Very little vegetables, very little fiber. It was all just sitting there getting rancid in my stomach. And it was clogging my arteries, clogging my circulatory system up. So I had, you know, a painful varicose vein, and I went to the doctor, and they just basically said it's normal. Just take anti-inflammatories, and that's it. But that's the key word right there, inflammation. It was all about the inflammation. Once I stopped the inflammation by stopping the meat, stopping all the inflammatory foods, like the refined carbohydrates. I don't really eat bread too much, so I really have to cut that.
Yeah.
You know, but just the meat. It was mainly the meat. Once I cut that out and replaced it with all those different vegetables and drinking the juices, I was able to clear out all the toxins in my body. The varicose vein completely shrunk within a...
Wow. Like it's now going again.
So within now it's been about a year, and the varicose vein has been retracting so much. Like it's been shrinking slowly but surely. It's been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So like even now when I get like, let's say I go and I have beef, you know, the varicose will swell up, but it won't even be half the size of what it was before, because I guess it's been tightened up so much that it doesn't expand as much.
Balance. Now you
alkalization.
And you have the fiber that you're not just pounding in the
because
protein and without
exactly everything needs to be able to come out the other side.
Yeah, and you know, people don't think what comes out. They just they think it comes in like in some black hole and disappears somewhere.
No, all the food content that you eat comes out the other end.
And you become that food yourself.
Exactly. Whatever you eat is what you are. If you eat dairy and corn and fructose and wheat all the time, look at the consistency of those foods. Liquid calories, you know, very white, fluffy, soft, mushy, and then you look at the person who's eating it and they're very liquid looking, like they jiggle like water. They're very fluffy,
fatty.
They're very fatty, they're bloated, extremely bloated. You see people with those big stomachs that are hard, that's meat. That's fecal matter.
That's stuck there like some kind of like ball.
Ronald Reagan, when he died, they did an autopsy on his body. You know Ronald Reagan, president?
Yeah.
One of our great presidents or whatever. He was actually the one who started the Green Revolution, which made all of our foods pesticide based. So his colon was so impacted with fecal matter that they took out almost 40 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
From his stomach. You can look at a picture and they'll hold it up with 2 sticks. The biggest, I want to say, turd that you've ever seen. It's like they're holding it up. Just Google Ronald Reagan colon, Ronald Reagan feces, and you'll see it. And John Wayne as well. He had about 20-30 pounds when he died. So all that stuff inside of you is killing you. It's hurting you. It's shortening your lifespan.
Do you eat seafood animals?
I don't eat seafood simply because farmed fish is horrifyingly toxic, and wild fish has mercury level in it, and I already get enough mercury from the fillings in my mouth, so I don't want to increase my mercury. I mean, it's only like 1 or 2, but they already changed a few of them, so I'm gonna, you know, fix the other ones out. But I don't want any mercury in my system. I don't want any fluoride in my system, so I don't drink tap water. I don't drink fountain water. I don't drink anything. I try to drink bottled water and filter the fluoride out.
But I think with the seafood, I mean, if you get from, let's say, organic farm like salmon, I don't think I think the benefits can outweigh because, I mean, it's healthier than, let's say, red meat, or it's good protein source.
And another reason why I don't do seafood is just because it's, you know, simply just because I like eggs. Eggs are cheap. I could get 12 eggs for $3. And it's the highest quality animal protein that you would eat. So why would you want to spend more?
Well,
$15, $20, unless you want a variety, you know, change it up, you know, but
and you have to actually, because eggs doesn't have everything that, let's say, salmon. And sardines are very good.
Sardines are
calcium.
Excellent. I used to eat a lot of sardines in olive oil.
And I was deficient in calcium, so I bought the other day. But you know, you gotta buy good quality, high quality, not factory farming, only family raised animals, and no antibiotics, no hormones, grass fed, in free range, you know, where animal not abused, and so you don't want those bad emotions and hormones in your body.
And you know, a lot of people say that eating organic meat is more expensive than eating less organic meat, but I think it's the opposite, because you shouldn't really be eating meat 3-4 times a day anyway. So if you can cut your meat consumption to 1 time in a day,
pick the best and small amount.
And I personally like to eat all of my protein either before or after a workout. Never in the morning when I wake up, never before bed. Always around my workout schedule. You know, just once in a day. Everything else comes from the grains, the greens, the amino acids.
And when you eat high quality produce, whether it comes to greens or animal products, you need less because you get more nutrients and you're more satiated. I find that. And you enjoy the food more. It
You enjoy the texture more. There's more variety in it. A lot of people say eating vegetables is boring. That's because they don't know the vegetables. You know, there's so many more vegetables. Like, I would say the typical American diet is boring. It's burgers, French fries, milk, and corn. That's really all it is. So, yeah,
that's it, I guess, because we're gonna go forever here.
I know, they're looking at us right now.
Yeah. So, thank you everybody for watching, and thank you, Gabriel, for sharing your story.
Yes. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video.
And give us a thumbs up.
Bam.
Stay healthy, my friends.
Yeah.